Okay guys, make the outer circle. I had gone to bed, and I thought, I'm going to read this new PDF in bed. Just relax. Now that my blood pressure has boiled over, I decided to get up and record this. This is insultingly badly written, and the people who wrote it should feel ashamed. Harsh? No. $1 billion company. That's all you got to remind yourself. Professional businesses need to do professional work, and this is not professional. We'll ignore the units that are missing from here. Not everything is covered. Fine. Happens. It's the units that are in here and have silly mistakes that's insulting. Some of them are just outright broken to the point of, I just started posting screenshots on Forgeworld's page and said, fix it. Fix it. Fix it one by one. Because they were that bad. I'm going to give you 3 examples. 2 from the Salamanders Legion. I'll give you one from the Dark Angels Legion. So, let's scroll on down there. Let's see. Following Enigmatis Cabal. This is a Dark Angels fast attack unit. Page 52. On page 53, we have their weapon, the Calibanite Charge Blade. It's a melee weapon. Strength is +1, AP 3, melee rending 6+. So on 6s, it becomes AP 2. A special rule called Blade Charge. Once per battle, a unit which includes any models with weapons with this special rule may declare a Blade Charge at any of the controlling player's assault phases. For the duration of that phase, attacks made by all models in the unit with weapons with the Blade Charge rule gain the Rending 3+ special rule, in addition to any other effects their weapons might have. Okay, that sounds fine. But then it says, this does not replace or improve any other versions of the Rending special rule. Well, if it doesn't replace it and it can't improve it to that, then how does the rule work? Common sense dictates that it should replace the Rending special rule, and well, what they mean is, yeah, it becomes Rending 3+. Except that's not what they wrote. Shit writing. Next. Let's move to the Salamanders. Because I've got a particular bone to pick here. Where do I start? Let's start with Cassian Dracos Reborn. 310 points. He doesn't have his special melter gun special rule anymore, because he had 2 inbuilt heavy flamers, and he could fire them as a melter gun. Not a multi-melter, a melter gun that was twin-linked in his old rules. Now, it's just he has flamers. They didn't even give us Cassian Dracos normal version, just the Reborn, and he's as weak as a regular Castaferum Dreadnought. Now, for those who are wondering, Cassian Dracos is a one-of-a-kind Dreadnought whose chassis is made by Vulcan himself. The Dreadnought was armor 14, so the highest armor value in the game, higher than any other Dreadnought, higher than a Leviathan Dreadnought. Now he's just toughness 6. He doesn't even have a 4-up invulnerable save. He's a 5-up invulnerable save. Wow. Just fuck-handed. Alright. That's not the worst. The worst and the most insulting in here is Lord Chaplin Nomus Rytan. 215 points. He's the head chaplain, the second in command of the Salamanders Legion, left in charge of the homeworld of the Salamanders when Vulcan goes to Istvan. He has a hammer that was forged by Vulcan himself, supposedly from the same material as the Primarch's own weapon. For 215 points, you get a character with the stat line of a multi-wound Space Marine. Weapon skill 4. Weapon skill 4 is not good in Heresy 2.0. It is bad. In fact, it is below every single other character model except for Tactical Squad Sergeants. We're talking Terminators in the other legions will be hitting him on 3s. He will be hitting enemy Terminators. The second in command of the Salamanders Legion will be hitting Terminators on 5s. This guy is a Praetor equivalent commander. Has the Master of the Legion special rule. Hitting enemies on 5s. A Praetor equivalent. And he's a Chaplain. He doesn't even have Fearless. What has he got? Well, he's got the Mantle of the Elder Drake, so, you know, basically Eternal Warrior. Ooh, that's handy. What's his Warlord trait? Must be something pretty good if you're the second in charge of the Salamanders Legion. His Warlord trait is the worst Warlord trait in the entire game. He gives Legion Dreadnoughts within 6 inches of him, not on the table, just within 6 inches of him, plus 2 inches to their charge distance. That's it. That's his Warlord trait. Plus 2 inches charge distance on Dreadnoughts that are near him. How often is that going to come up in a game? Maybe if you're running Fury of the Ancients, Rite of War, and you cluster them all up around the Chaplain, but well, 6 inches on a 72-inch wide table is not a very big bubble of effect. What about his weapon? Well, we'll start with the less insulting of the two. So, Salamander's characters can all take mastercrafted weapons by default, basically. You're a Salamander, here you go, have a mastercrafted weapon. It's one of your Legion special things. It's one of the things that makes them unique, because they're like master blacksmiths and artisans. No mastercrafted weapons here. His basic flamer weapon here is a combi flamer. Is it a Salamander's combi flamer, like with the Dragon's Breath special rule? No, just a regular combi flamer. You see, because they lazy fucks who wrote this took his existing rules and just cut-pasted them into this edition without realising that, hang on a minute, in the last edition, he got the Nocturnian Fire, whatever it was, special rule by default, which gave him +1 strength on his flamer. That was just an automatic given for your Legion traits. But in Heresy 2.0, you don't have that. Instead, you change your war gear out. And being a special character, you don't change your war gear out. So he's stuck with a basic combi flamer. He doesn't get to upgrade to the cool flamers that the literal rest of the Legion gets for free on basic squad sergeants. Or basic tactical support marines can upgrade their flamers. This guy can't. The chief chaplain of the Salamanders Legion. Okay. Well, what about his weapon? That Sister of Dawnbringer. That mystical hammer of Vulcans, forged by the Primarch himself. Yeah, it's a +2 strength, AP2, melee two-handed unwieldy. It isn't even brutal. In the last edition, he had a Thunder Hammer that was only strength 6, but got to strike at initiative. Really good weapon. Now, he has not got the rules of a Thunder Hammer. It's not concussive. It's not brutal. It's not double his strength, so it's lost all of that. It's two-handed, so he doesn't get any bonus attacks for having a pistol or anything. So he doesn't even get 5 attacks. He's got 4 attacks. And then it's unwieldy, so he's striking last in close combat against people who are going to have power fists and thunder hammers and all those kind of weapons. And most of the people he's going to be fighting are going to be a higher weapon skill. There is the only people he can hit on 3s in this game. The chief chaplain of the Salamanders Legion, the second in command of Legion, the only units he can hit on 3s is going to be Imperial Army and some Mechanicum units. He can't even hit basic Marines on 3s. He's hitting basic Marines on 4s. And he's 215 points! He's more expensive than, well, most Praetors. Most Praetors come with, at 120 points, are coming with Artificer Armor and Iron Halo by default. And a Power Axe, which is basically this. Upgrade into a Thunder Hammer, give him the Mantle of the Elder Drake, give him a Combi Flamer, or give him a Dragon's Breath Combi Flamer, and essentially you've created the equivalent of this guy, and you've saved 80 points doing it. That is stupid. How do you fuck that up? There are other units that are stuffed up in here. I think the Kestis is stuffed as well. Kestis Assault Ram. original rules on the Kesters was that you had, I believe it was 10 transport capacity. It didn't matter whether you were power armor or Terminator armor, it transported 10 models. But it had to be in power or Terminator armor. That was the rules for it. Now I've got to go to page 28 for the Kesters. So the Kesters here, transport capacity 12. It can take 6 Terminators. So that's 5 Terminators and 1 Terminator character. 6. The thing is bigger than a Spartan, which has 25 transport capacity. Or 26 transport capacity, whatever it is now. What? How? It's bigger. That makes no sense. What about Minotaur here? It's the exact same Earthshaker as a Basilisk, but twin-linked. Whoop-de-doo. Glad I'm paying 280 points for that. It's not even a super heavy tank. It's just 4 hull points and slightly better armor than a regular Basilisk. How? Legion Medusa and Legion Basilisk. There's another 2 funny ones. They're functionally the same vehicle now. You get the option, though, of, well, one's 240 inches range, the other's 36 inches range, which is fine for most engagements. And basically, one has Shred, one has Rending. They're both Strength 9, AP 4. Just, wow, they really went in and thought about the rules there. Like, oh no, we can't have something that'll kill Terminators on a 2+. We can't have Terminators having to actually use the invulnerable saves, which is the whole reason you take Terminator armor. Let's just get rid of all AP2 weapons in the game. That's what they've done. Vindicators, nerfed. Whirlwinds, nerfed. Medusas, nerfed. Basilisks, nerfed. Anything that, posed a threat. No, can't kill power armor with that. At the Typhon, nerfed. You can't have AP2 shooting. No, God, no. The people who wrote this liked using their Terminators. You can't have Terminators having to use their invuls. Fucking shit writing. This is the best a $1 billion company can. Normally, free PDF, right? You wouldn't complain. I mean, you can complain that they had a whole bunch of stuff they took out of the game, and they're just giving it back to you in some capacity right now, but really? This was honestly the absolute best they could do. $1 billion company. Just let it sink in. It's... What about the Legion Stormblade? See, I'm reading this, I go and finding more things. 2 sponsor-mounted las cannon arrays. The Stormblade is based on a Baneblade chassis. It's a Baneblade chassis with a giant plasma cannon on top, essentially. It's a Titan plasma blast gun slapped on a Baneblade chassis. This has sponsor-mounted las cannon arrays. That's the weapons of a Fellblade chassis. It's a completely different type of tank chassis. To make this model, you would need to buy a Fellblade and then slap the sides of the Fellblade tank onto a Stormblade chassis. Who wrote this? How are you so bad at it? Like, I don't want to put down individuals here, but, like, fuck. You didn't even release it day one. You don't even have the excuse of having to rush it out at the last second. Did you knock this up in a coffee break? The community did a better job of writing this already. Does the community need to go in and fix this again? $1 billion company. That's what I keep coming back to. I expect professional companies to do professional level work, not to make continuous sets of multiple mistakes throughout. And I gave you some of the most glaring here, I'll admit. Pick and choose? Sure. Whatever. I don't care. The problem's there, the problem's real. A weapon skill 4 Chaplin. Fix it. Fix it. I do not accept this, Games Workshop. The standard of writing here is subpar. You need to pull the PDF from circulation right now, fix it, rewrite it, actually have someone who's competent edit it, and then put it back out. Because this is unacceptable. This isn't even acceptable for narrative play. That's how bad some of this is written. You're going to need to house rule it, and I don't think things that are being deliberately written new should be house ruled. They should work. They should work from the get-go. You shouldn't have to be coming up with justifications and workarounds for things that are brand new written. No, that is just a piss poor job. So, yeah, I've no positive things to say. I don't care. You don't just get a fucking applause because you did the bare minimum job of cut-pasting units from the old edition and trying to slap new rules onto them. Like, oh, well, we had to give a Gravis heavy bolter array on the front of our Basilisk tank. I believe that's what they said. Was it a Gravis heavy bolter array? Let me look. I want to double check that. Medusa. Hull-mounted Gravis heavy bolter. A Gravis heavy bolter is a twin-linked heavy bolter. The model has one heavy bolter. Where's the second heavy bolter, you fucking idiots? I'm going to bed. Fuck this.